Okay. Did I miss, is there a Scott here?
Yep. Scott's here, Babbitt.
Oh, awesome.
Scott, do we have your wife in a different course later?
Yep.
That's what we thought.
Okay.
Right. Oh, here comes somebody. Look at us just cracking up. Brianna's here.
I know. Oh, good morning.
So we're
Okay.
missing. Okay. So I
Okay.
am officially recording. So I'm going to officially welcome you to WHOL4Ed, a course very, very close to our hearts.
Yeah.
This is normally a face-to-face experience. So we're not going to lie, we were a little like, when they first told us that it was going to be online, we were like, wait, what? Because like, we kind of feel like we are the course, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
say it any other way.
This class is such a conversation, and it is so near and dear to our hearts. Because I don't know about you, but after distance learning, I need to do a reset of some work-life balance, because it got a little out of control here at the Higgins house. I'm not gonna lie. So we are excited to start the conversation with all of you this morning. So thank you. How many of you, any of you just finish school this week? Just a raise of hand.
Okay.
Hey. Wow.
Wow, you're like,
so happy summer. Happy summer, everybody. Way to dive right in with your first class. We're glad that you are here.
So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Emily Albrecht. I am actually a 6th grade teacher in the Prior Lake Savage School District. Just got my 20-year this year for Prior Lake Savage. Felt pretty sassy about that. And I have been teaching for St. Mary's, believe it or not, 17 of those 20 years. And I always know because I was pregnant with my 3rd daughter. I have 4 daughters. My oldest is 25 and married. She and her husband live in my basement. They're building a townhome. And then I have a 21-year-old, 17-year-old, and a 13-year-old. Here's Katie.
Hi, good morning. I'm Katie Higgins, and I work in Edina Public Schools. I teach 6th grade reading, and I coordinate our staff development and our web program, which is called Where Everybody Belongs, a leadership program for our 8th graders. And I've been working for St. Mary's for about 15 years, and the last several with my partner in crime and friend, Emily. At home, I have 3 kiddos, 16, 14, and 12. And so far it's been a summer like no other for us. We're doing some different things because so much kids stuff that has normally dictated our existence is canceled or changed. So crazy days.
Okay, so that's us. We'll talk a minute about what you're going to need over the next little bit here. Obviously a device, right? Katie and I both have 2 actually, trying to keep everything straight, but you will need a device. You will need like an actual paper plate or a piece of paper. We sent this in an email, but piece of paper you can write on, and then some writing utensils. Most of our time together is going to be spent with some getting to know you, community building, because you're going to be interacting with one another for the next 5 weeks. And we really believe connection matters, and that even in this strange remote learning environment, we want to make sure you're feeling connected to the course and its participants. So that'll be the bulk of our meeting today. So yeah.
Okay, we are going to start by sharing a video with you, and it's also going to be how you're going to introduce yourself in just a little bit, but we're going to start by showing you world
A
class
lot of videos up here, sorry.
a world class juggler, and you can just watch and enjoy for a couple minutes to see this talented guy.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Once those away, get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. Smile away to when you rise. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby. Once those away to get back home. Once those away, get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby. You're gonna carry that way. You're gonna carry that way. Carry that way. All the time.
Emily, I'm losing the sound a little bit. I'm not sure if everyone else can still hear it.
I think we get the gist of it.
Yeah, I think so. So obviously he has some fierce juggling skills. And we know that all of you are doing a lot of juggling too, between work and home and maybe another job now in the summer and being students. If we were in class, this is when we'd give all of you 3 tennis balls and give you a little time to create your own juggling routine set to music. But if you had to give a song title to all that you are juggling right now, what would that song title be? Emily and I will both model this for a second. Em, go ahead and share yours. What's your theme? What are you juggling to right now?
My theme right now is a song by Johnny Diaz. It's called Just Breathe. And the lyrics are like alarm bells ringing, hit the floor 90 miles an hour. Even with distance learning and quarantine and all that, I felt more overwhelmed than ever. I did have a point during distance learning where I didn't know if I was going to make it because it was just so different and all the roles were new. And we know how we feel when roles are new and we're out of the rhythm. And this song just literally brings me back because the chorus just slows down and he literally says, just breathe, just be. And I constantly had to remind myself to do those 2 things, that I didn't need to be doing and moving and creating content all the time. Just be. So that would be my soundtrack to my juggling act?
So what we are going to do right now is we are going to put you into 4 different breakout rooms. And we're going to give you maybe 2 minutes to think about what song would be the track that's playing to your life right now. You can feel free to look at your playlists and Google ideas, but you're going to be put in a random group, and we'd like you to introduce yourself to that group of people and tell them where you teach and things like that, and tell them, what song did you pick? What are you currently juggling to? When you're in your breakout room, you'll be there for approximately 15 minutes. You'll get a little bit of a warning, maybe a 1-minute warning, like, hey, you're going to be brought back to our group. So take a couple minutes to think and then start sharing.
And then it'll take me a couple of minutes to do the breakout room. So go ahead right now and start thinking about your song, Googling lyrics while I make the breakout rooms.
And if at any time you have a question, feel free to use the chat, and we'll try to be monitoring the chat throughout the morning too.
And then Katie, it will probably put you in a room, but you can just pop out.
And there they go.
Yeah, they start to disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, are they
Yeah,
slowly
I had the option to join it or not. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nikki just needs to join.
And maybe Haley.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Haley.
And then do you set them on a timer?
So I'm just going to use my own timer. I'm going to bring them back at 9:30.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute myself.
No, wait. It says I can pause the recording.
Oh, okay.
Did I try
I
it?
still see Haley in here.
Yes. Haley, do you need to join a room?
Oh, now she's joined twice.
Hi.
Yeah.
I clicked it and then it didn't do anything.
I'm just going to put you in room 1.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thanks, hon.
I wonder if she's in our meeting on 2 devices.
Yeah, breakout room 6.
Did you pause our meeting?
I have not yet.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so
to lose her,
Yeah.
but I know that she will do great things in Edina.
Oh, well, we have such a positive relationship, I think, between our 2 districts.
100%.
I think that is, I think more, I would love, maybe more districts do it, but this whole idea of Hop Dyna and what we do to share resources, and I think it's pretty powerful. So I'm really excited to meet her.
She's really fun.
Good.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your breakout room. Breakout rooms are still kind of new to us, so we're shocked that it worked. We're super excited.
We're always like, hold on tight. Hope they come back.
Anyway, so we're going to move on to our next task. Hopefully you were able to get to know people kind of through their juggling act. And what we need you to grab right now, and we'll give you a couple of minutes, you need your time logs. that you filled out. So in the email, we gave you a time log, told you to do it on kind of a workish kind of day, and then maybe on a day that was a little bit different. Whether you had those physically, electronically, doesn't matter. This is really just for you. And then note too, time logs will be a part of this class moving forward. It's one of those things that just seeing it in writing is pretty powerful. So we want you to grab your time log, and we're going to give you about 5 minutes to do a little categorizing. And what we mean by that is we want you to look at your events on your time log and try to put them into 4, maybe 5 or 6 categories. For example, you might see that 6 of your things are all related to getting ready, or, you know, things that are kind of taking getting ready time, prep time kind of things. So whatever categories you want, you can use symbols, you can grab some markers, but we just want you to kind of look at your 2 time logs and mark each item on your time log with the category it fits into.
So you might say, these are family tasks, these are personal tasks. There are lots of right ways for you to kind of sort and organize how you're spending your time, but you will have to explain your categories or your thinking to a partner that's in a small group, or just really a twosome. And
So
while you're
5 minutes. And if you want, you can mute your camera too, if you like just want to, you know, like be by yourself for a minute and do this. But we will call you back in 5 minutes. This is an individual task. And then we'll talk about how you're going to share.
and I don't know if the etiquette is for us to be quiet during this time or not, Emily, but do you know what I'm going to say? Do you remember the first time
Oh, yes.
we
Go
did
ahead.
this class?
You can say this while they're doing this.
So we've been teaching WHOL4Ed for, gosh, how many summers now?
2013.
2013. Oh,
Yep.
God. Okay, so a long time. And so Emily and I have been talking about time for years together. How do we make the most of our time? How do we value our time? And before the start of our first class, Emily calls me one day and she said, "Hey, how are your time logs coming?" And I was like, "What do you mean, how are my time logs coming?" She was like, "Well, if we're asking people to do these time logs, we have to do these time logs." I was like, "Oh gosh, we're like, really?" And she said, yep, you got to do time log. I hated this assignment. I hated it because it brought out some glaring inefficiencies in my own use of time. And it also, if I think about my time, like I put my effort on things that I value, I had a lot of things sucking important time away from family. So it was very eye-opening, even though it was a little painful.
Right. And we encourage time logs to become habits. So we'll talk about more of that later. We'll give you about 3 more minutes. Eyelash problem. Ugh. We'll go about 90 more seconds. Okay, 30 seconds, wrap up your categories. Wave if you maybe need a little more time than that. We don't want to rush you. Okay, so really quick, as people are wrapping up, we want to take a quick picture of all these beautiful faces, but we want you all looking at us, you know, like scoot up so we can see you. And we're just gonna take a quick picture. You can wave if you want. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I gotta take another one because I gotta scroll over on my screen. Okay, hold on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Love it. Thank you. Gotta put it on Facebook or something. Okay. All right. So you have your time log and you've got it categorized. Hopefully you're getting a stronger sense of where you really spend your time. And we hope by the end of this class, you kind of understand the difference between spending time and investing time. Like two very different views about time, and making sure you're investing in your time instead of just spending it. So we're going to be putting you in partnerships. So again, you'll be asked to join a group, to leave, and we want you to share your time logs, share your categories, and any insights or, like Katie, like glaring inefficiencies or areas where you're like, I could totally use my time better than this. Okay, so I'll be putting you in some rooms.
And feel free to visit. When we do this face-to-face, we normally have people pair up and walk outside. And so we absolutely want you to talk about your time, but feel free to make sure that you're connecting on other levels. Introduce yourself. Where do you teach? What do you teach? Who's in your home? Feel free to share those types of things with each other too.
So some of the rooms might have 3, but the goal is 2. It just kind of depends on how this works out. So we will recreate rooms, just join the room, and we'll see you back in about 15 minutes. And then they all start to disappear.
And they all disappear. I hope that I don't throw it off by being a participant.
Okay, so I think 28. Are we good? I don't know. Is that everybody? Is everybody back? Say if you're not.
So we are going to ask, and normally, again, it is not, this class is not about Emily and I just speaking and talking at people. it's usually so much more interactive and conversational. But we're going to ask for 3 volunteers to just give us a glimpse at how did your time log analysis go? Maybe what did you hear from your partner, or you can speak to how it went for you, any things you noticed or what categories really stuck out. So if you'd be willing to share, just unmute yourself and jump in, and we'd like about 3 people to share. And maybe introduce yourself quick, like, hey, this is.
I don't mind sharing first.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kim.
This is Kim Lang. I teach at Avon Elementary. I spent the last 3 years as a kindergarten teacher, and I'm looking forward to going to 2nd grade next year, in addition to all this other stuff happening. So wish me luck. But anyway, so this time log was an eye-opener for me in the way that the 2 days that I chose to do it, I was not at work. I was not at school because that had been over already. And so looking at all of the things that I did, I wondered, how in the world do I fit, 8 or 9 hours of teaching into these days on top of everything else during the school year? I'm a wife and a mom of 4 boys. And so it's, as many of you are, and it's just crazy to think of all the household things and stuff that just doesn't get done during the school year, or it piles up. And I'm not okay with that usually, but looking at this time log, I'm thinking, okay, Kim, you know that you can't do it all. And so give yourself some grace during the school year, and that will be okay.
Yes.
So that was a big eye opener for me. Like, how can I fit 9 hours of work into these days too, on top of everything else?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I can go next.
Hi, Nikki.
This is Nikki Antonson. I teach at Prior Lake. I teach 6th and 7th grade science. And I talked with Marissa, and we had some similar categories that we talked about, like getting ready, and then like meals, or like eating was a big one. Just like prepping your meals and stuff. And then we also, what else did we talk about? Oh, we said that like filling this out kind of made us almost more productive. Like I said, I didn't really want to write something down unless I felt like it was good enough to like write down. So I thought it was good. Like it kept me productive, but definitely if I wasn't writing stuff down, I'm like, oh, I'll just watch one more episode of The Office, if I wasn't writing this stuff down.
Yes.
So. And then we also talked about podcasts too. Not on the thing, but just off. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Fun. Thanks, Nikki. Well, we'd like to hear from one more person.
I'll share. This is Rebecca. So Lindsay and I decided it was kind of hard to categorize all the different things, and partially because both of us tend to multitask. So while I was getting breakfast ready in the morning, I was also cleaning up the kitchen, and I tend to eat breakfast either normally driving to school, or doing prep work, like distance learning. I would be eating breakfast while answering my emails right away in the morning. So it was kind of hard when you were doing things together to figure out what like categories. And I know Lindsay had a really good when she did one that was like a self-care category. And I thought that was like a really neat idea. That's something that I hadn't thought of. And I know like I did have school stuff the one day I picked, but it was material drop off. So I was at school, but we were busy and interacting with the families, but it wasn't like a typical day. And I feel like I haven't really had a lot of typical days right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So to pick, categories and to look at the time, I'm like, and then, and I'm also thinking, I'm like, do I have typical days? Like, or is every day just a little different?
Yeah.
Nothing feels typical, right, Rebecca? That's like, we should quote you don't have a typical day.
Thank you for sharing. What we'd like you to do right now is to use the chat feature. So click on that chat and just type in, what is your favorite time of day? And it doesn't necessarily have to be like morning or night. It can be a moment in your day, whatever that might be. But go ahead and take a minute and let's see what time of day you all enjoy most.
Oh. 7 to 11. Good for you, Haley.
Well, I do have a daughter who gets me up early, so
Oh, true.
there's that.
I have teenagers who sleep till 1. So you can make the chat box longer so you can see more too.
Yeah. I see some evening, I see some early morning, time with friends. This is one of our favorite questions to ask in the large group. And it was a couple of years ago that people had this conversation and we were kind of debriefing. And one lady stopped us and she was just like, I just have to tell you about my partner's favorite time of day. And her partner's name was Joe. And she said, he needs to tell you guys about this. We're like, okay, by all means, the floor is yours, Joe. Tell us, what is your favorite time of day? And he said, my favorite time of day is slow coffee. And we were like, okay, tell us more about that. And he said, I love coffee, but I like the process of coffee from start to finish. I like to open up the grounds and smell it, and just I enjoy the coffee brewing and the house, the smell that fills my kitchen. And he goes, then I like to pour myself in my favorite mug and add my creamer, and then I like to just sit. And sometimes slow coffee is just enjoyed by yourself, and sometimes slow coffee is enjoyed with a good friend or a family member. And the room was silent as this guy talked about slow coffee. And the ladies in the room were all like, that's beautiful, like we love that. And then he said, well, don't get me wrong, I enjoy like slow wine, I enjoy slow steak, like, so the power of just putting the word slow in front of this. And this has like become a movement with our friends. And I'm pointing like this because Emily is like right here on my screen. But we talk about slow coffee, like, oh my gosh, I had slow coffee with Julie today. And it became like this big thing that people in our lives have told their friends about slow coffee. And so we encourage you this summer to do slow something, whatever it is that you love. Yes, but slow coffee has been just one of our favorite answers to that question ever. The other answer that really cracks us up, it was several years ago, we had a group of young, new teachers. Do you know what I'm going to say, Em?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Taking this class from us. And their favorite time of day, it was actually a favorite time of week. It was the Bachelorette. Like, that is my favorite time, not only of day, that is my favorite time of the week. And it was this whole corner of the room, like 6, 7 gals that were all like, oh no, Bachelorette, that's my favorite time of day. So we've gotten all sorts of fun answers. And we appreciate what all of you just shared with us here too. So early morning. So cheers to slow coffee.
Slow coffee. I put it on my Insta stories the other day. I was having slow coffee on the very first day of summer, Monday morning, and I had 10 people swipe up, all former learners or people, and they're like, oh, slow coffee. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a thing.
Awesome. So thanks for sharing. And thanks too for just your willingness to be put in a random room with someone that you maybe don't know today and have a conversation. So kudos for being so flexible with our current learning. Next, you are going to need a paper plate, or just a blank piece of paper would work too. But if you have a plate, go grab it.
Use pink marker.
And on your plate, you need to write all of the things, like all of the jobs that you are responsible for. So for example, I would write mom, teacher, auntie, and I would write grocery shopper,
Bill payer.
bill payer, dog walker. Feel free to give yourselves awesome titles. What are like the
Coupon cutter.
the coupon cutter, the birthday gift buyer,
Home designer. Like
so go ahead and fill your plate with all of your roles. So we're going to give you a couple quiet minutes to do that.
So about 5 to 6 minutes, as many as you can think of. Again, you can mute your video and yourself if you want. I know I'm forgetting something.
And don't forget the obvious ones. Sometimes people forget, like, oh yeah, I'm a friend. I'm an auntie.
I just wrote down daughter. Got to call my mom and dad. While you're finishing up, we always have a little fun with a little plate personality profile. So we always, when we're in face-to-face, we're walking around the room, we're looking at everybody's plate and how they wrote on their plate. And there's always someone that has all of their roles listed like in a line, like boom, boom, like neatly in a line. Anybody? Okay, Rebecca, Nicole, okay, Michael. And we always say, you don't need this course. You are already organized. You are good to go. You can get off the Zoom right now. Just kidding. Then we go around and we see there's a few people who write, if they're on the plate, they write following the plate. So like cylindrical, like Zoom, they follow like a spiral. Anybody spiral? Patrick's like, yeah, right? And we always say like, you're like borderline not gonna make it. But the fact that you signed up for the class, we can still help you, okay? We can help you. And then if you wrote your roles on your plate, just random as heck, and you have to turn it 18 different ways to see all the different roles you have, we're afraid that maybe you are beyond our help, that we can't bring you back from where you've gone. I'm kidding, totally kidding. But we like to do a plate personality profile. But you should have a plate. Again, there's power in writing it down, because sometimes we allow ourselves to just become automatic and we don't really articulate all the roles that we play. Okay, so Katie, do you want to explain the sharing?
Yes. So now we're going to put you in a random group of 3, and you're going to just kind of share your plate a little bit with the people that you're in a group with. And if you hear a great idea from someone else, you're like, wait a second, I'm a coach too. I forgot to write that down. Or I'm the clean team organizer. That would be me, clean team organizer. That's a nice way for saying taskmaster, to get your jobs done to teenagers. So if you hear a cool title that someone else gave themselves, steal it. Or if you forgot it, steal it. Like, do you take care of your lawn? Don't forget about all of those other, like, are you the lawnmower person? Raker? Whatever. So that's what you're going to do in your small group. And again, feel free to give some context around some of these things so that we're getting to know one another too. And again, you will be in a trio this time, and you'll have just, again, about 15 minutes to share, and then we will pull you back. And please know that if you need to tell your group, like, hey, I got to do a quick bathroom break or a coffee refill, please be flexible with people as time allows.
Okay. And then they just disappear.
Don't forget to pause.
Oh, yes, thank you. Zoom recording. Oh, boy.
And while people are kind of getting settled in, did any of you hear a really great title that someone gave themselves on their plate that maybe you hadn't thought of?
In our breakout room, Ashley said she is a helper, and I thought that was really kind of a cute title, because I feel like we're all helpers in some way, so it's really kind of a cute title that she came up with.
I like that too. Yes, helper. Thanks for sharing. Emily P, did you hear a cute title that you wanted to share?
No, I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I thought I saw you unmuted and I wanted to.
Oh, no, I forgot to mute.
Okay.
Oh, no worries.
I was gonna say Scott had Firestarter on his, and I said, oh, I love that, because we like to do bonfires over here too.
Fire starter.
I like it.
That could be literal and figurative.
Yeah, we clarified not like a pyro way, and then safe fire starter.
Good, Scott. It's good to know.
So helper, fire starter. Anybody else?
I worked with Michael and Kim said that she was the calendar CEO, and she seems super organized.
I like it.
Really stealing that one.
Calendar CEO.
Because that is me.
Thank you for sharing. And we want to be sure to tell you to hang on to your plates. Oh, Emily, did you start recording again?
Oh yeah, I got
Okay.
you.
Hang on to your plates because you are going to need this for an assignment in our introductory module, which we're going to transition and talk to you a little bit about the bones of the course and how things are going to operate.
So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And the first thing that we're going to walk you through as far as course logistics go is the Blackboard space, because that is where each module will appear each week. So we made the course available last night. If you've been checking and you're like, I don't have the course, it doesn't say it, you won't have it until we make it available, which we did last night. If for some reason you're having problems logging into Blackboard, the majority of you should not because you're in a program, but that would be a question for the like IT tech help, and let us know and we can direct you to someone who can help you. But you will need to be able to access Blackboard. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Okay, so we're just going to do a quick little tour of Blackboard so you know where to find things, and if you have questions, this is Blackboard. So your course will land most likely on the announcement page, and we will always put up an announcement when a new module is live, or if there's something during the course that's come up or changed. So just make sure to always read the announcement. The announcement right now is for today, which some of you could see and some of you could not. Then, of course, there's a little tidbit about your instructors, the two of us. The syllabus, if you'd like kind of a deeper dive. We also already shared this with you in the welcome letter. But if you're just curious as to the outline of the course and how the weeks will be broken down and the dates, that's where you should look. And then we'll get to the modules. So Katie, do you want to talk about, I'll click, the first module is what we're in right now. It's the introduction module.
You bet. So when you click on that module, the first thing that you'll see is a s'more, and this is the platform that we use to organize resources for you within Blackboard. And you can see that this introduction, like there's our welcome, and we have our video on there, what are you juggling? And then kind of the different things that we've done, the time log analysis, and the what's on your plate. So each module will start with a s'more that kind of organizes everything for you. We have included a video on all of them, so you'll hear from us each module. And then you'll just kind of work your way down the s'more in terms of tasks. And then what we're going to share with you next is what we have found to be a great way to organize work for summer classes all in one spot. So we're gonna show you like a 2-minute video, but then it's also going to be here for you to rewatch if you need help kind of setting up your WHOL4Ed learner slide deck.
So I'm just going to say one thing really quick. You can see on my screen over here on the left, I can see all the modules. If you're in Blackboard, you can only see the introduction module. We are required by the university to spread your learning out for 5 weeks. So we can't just put all the modules out there and be like, finish it in 4 days, because this class is broken down into 3 credits. Some of you are taking it for 3. Some of you are taking it for 2, and then 1 credit. Now, according to the university, a 3-credit class is 45 clock hours. So over the course of the 5 weeks, the university expects you to spend 45 hours working on the content for this course. If you're taking it for 2 credit, it's 30 clock hours, and the 2 hours we have spent today count in that amount. And then if you're taking it for 1 credit, it is 15 clock hours. So we have to spread the learning out each week. So the modules will go live typically on Mondays. The first one will go live this coming Monday after the introduction. But just know each week you'll see the next piece.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to show this video with the slide deck, and hopefully it will explain how we have you submit work and how we grade work in this course. So I'm just going to click play. Give me a thumbs up that you can hear it. Okay.
I'm just going to share a quick video about the learner slide deck. So this is a slide deck you're going to be making a copy of, and then this is where you will link all of your work for this course. So you'll be doing and creating assignments in Google Docs and different places, but you will be
it's buffering a little bit. Sorry.
Be linking all of your coursework to this slide deck that you have made a copy of. So you will type your full name here and then basic directions. Make sure you put this in your Google Drive, someplace where you can find it daily during this course. Right away, you need to share it with both Katie and myself. We need to have viewing, editing, commenting rights from the beginning of the course. All of the assignments will be listed in the SMORE modules, and then we will tell you, link this to your slide deck. In the slide deck, if you need additional space to write, first we recommend just adjusting text sizes, but then you can always duplicate a slide to create more space. We will be checking your progress on this slide deck continually, and then we will also be providing feedback 2 ways. One, you might get a comment from us kind of on the side of your slide where we are saying maybe you were missing something, or we were looking for more depth, more information. We will leave a written piece of feedback. Or the other type of feedback at the end of this slide deck is a grade slide. So you will be able to see as we move through the course, the grades you are getting, the scores you are getting on each of the assignments. So I'll show you how that works. So for example, the first set of assignments is going to be related to your time logs. You'll be keeping 3 time logs during this course and then reflecting on those time logs 3 times. So we're going to have you link the time log that you made and linking the reflection. So you will just, when it's not in present mode, you will click here where it says insert link, and then you will insert the link. Make sure everything you link also is shared with us. We can comment, edit. You can't just give us viewing rights. We need to be able to give feedback. So just make sure every link you provide is shareable. Then in the upper right hand corner, sometimes this moves depending on the slide, but every slide has this circle with a G, stands for grades. So if you click on it, it's going to jump you directly to the grade slide. So you'll be able to see in real time the scores you are getting on each of the assignments. This sheet will look different depending if you're taking the course for 3 credits or 2 credits, but this is where you're graded. And then when you're done looking at your grade, if you click any of these, it will take you back to that slide deck. So that's how it works. So for example, what's on my plate? You'll insert a picture of your plate here. You'll insert your reflection here. You'll click the grade there. You'll see what you got on your plate. Click here, takes you back. each of the slides shows what module it goes with. For example, burnout is module 1. So you'll kind of know where the assignments fall, where you click links, where you type. Every assignment is submitted in this slide deck. So not in Blackboard. You don't just share it with us in an email. Everything is here. It's convenient for us because we get all of your work in one place, but it's also convenient for you because you're putting all of your work in one place and you're able to see your grades in progress. So again, go to grades, see what you scored, go back. So this slide deck includes all of the assignments you will do for this course. Good luck.
I have to give huge compliments to my partner in crime because she is a digital design phenom and she just makes beautiful things. So your slide deck is all compliments to Emily's beautiful design work.
It's got to be snazzy, right?
Right. First the nitty gritty, then we make it pretty. So we worked hard on the nitty gritty.
Yeah. And then I actually am going to share my screen again because I want to show you where you can, again, see all of this. So when you go to Blackboard, so we'll go back here, I'm in the introduction module. Here's the s'more that we've worked through today. That video is on the very bottom, so you can watch it again. And then if you keep scrolling, this is only in the introduction module where we do this, but we're giving you your 3 assignments right here in Blackboard. Even though you're not going to be submitting them in Blackboard, we're just putting them here in this module. From here on out, all assignments will be built into each s'more, and then you will submit in this slide deck. But we wanted to make sure for this first one, everybody knew where they were. So assignment number 1, Katie, do you want to do assignment number 1, the slide deck?
Yes. So your first job between now and Sunday is to make the slide deck that you need based on the credit that you are signed up to take the class for. So make sure you get the correct slide deck and then fill in your name and share it with both Emily and I right away. Blackboard has actually divided you into 2 groups, and that's really nothing that you need to worry about, but some of you are assigned to section A, some of you are assigned to section D. It doesn't matter. All of the material is the same, but it's really important that you share your slide deck with both of us.
And then we recommend you put it, like, make a folder in Google Drive called WHOL4Ed and just keep everything you're doing in a folder. You will eventually be linking everything to your slide deck, which again is super convenient, but we recommend you make a folder. Okay, next, this is our first Connections Matter. Every single module we do a Connections Matter because we want to connect as a community. So you're going to be going to our Flipgrid and just refreshing everybody, like, here's who I am, here's where I teach, here's what I teach. And then we want you to tell us what you hope you're going to get out of this course. Like, why did you take Work Home Organizing Life for Educators? And then give it, a day or 2, and then go back and just respond to anybody that you're like, that's my jam, I totally agree with you. Just so we have a place to always return to look at everybody's face and know who everybody is.
Okay, and the last task for this introduction module kind of brings us back to that plate assignment. We have a document there with some reflection prompts that we want you to kind of work through all by yourself, related to the items on your plate. And it's a 2-page document And one side of the document, and I'm sorry, I don't remember if it's the first or second page, but one side is a series of prompts for you to do some journaling to. The second page asks you to categorize the items on your plate into, these are the things I have to do, these are the things I want to do, and then we kind of have this other category. So you need to kind of sort your tasks, but then from that, from your, like using that reflection tool, and that's really just for you. You're not linking that anywhere for us. I don't think they are, right, Em?
No.
No, that's just a thinking tool for you. But from your plate then, and that reflection process, you need to create 3 goals. And again, I think you saw that in the slide deck. There's a place for you to write 3 goals. And we gave you some prompts there. In order to feel less guilty, I need to blank. In order to manage my time better, I need to blank. In order to take care of myself, I need to blank. So you're gonna fill out those, like answer those 3 prompts, and then you'll write a 1 to 2 page reflection that kind of summarizes all of this thinking. And then you'll link that on your slide deck.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing, and then we would just like to open it up to any questions. So if you have a question, just wave and then unmute yourself. And do know that at any time during the course, if you have a question, just email us. We will try and get back to you as soon as we can. But if you have any, like right now, like, whoa, questions, go for it.
And I can monitor the chat too if you would prefer to write your question in the chat.
We just explain things so perfectly, or you're completely overwhelmed and you don't know what to do. Kidding.
Okay, good question. The 1 to 2 page reflection, should that include your 3 goals? Not necessarily. Those 3 goals or those statements, there's a spot on the slide deck for you to write those. You might speak to a particular statement or goal within your paper, but no, not necessarily.
Great question. So really this introduction module runs from now until Sunday night. It's a little bit of a shorter window. We decided to do that instead of, like, originally this course ran for 2 face-to-face days, then the module started. So we instead structured it little 2-hour face-to-face, sort of, and then you have a couple of days to do these initial assignments before module 1 starts Monday.
So do all the modules run from Monday to Sunday? Is that how it works?
Not exactly, because we have the 4th of July in there. There's one that has a little bit longer of a window. But I think they almost always start on a Monday. But the dates, once they are open to you, the dates will be listed right away.
And the dates are
on the Blackboard and on some more.
And the dates are listed in the syllabus. If you want to see it now, like just want to see the breakdown, they are in the syllabus. The course ends July 23rd. There's 5 modules, right? Yeah, 5 modules.
And do we have more face-to-face meetings, or is this our only one?
We are going to do one at the end. We will give you more information about that. The plan is to do that on July 23rd. Right now, we are going to ask for a little bit of feedback about when we should do that. It will be like 30 minutes, not very long. We just want to bring a little closure to the course. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Otherwise, all the modules are videos of Katie and me, like talking to you.
Right.
We did a whole day of recording videos of all of our wisdom that we wanted to give you. We debated about changing outfits every time, so you'd think it was done like on a different day. But really, we just cranked it out. It was awesome.
Another question is about the expectation for the amount of time logs. That'll always be right on the S'more, and you'll be doing like 1 time log a week, just as another way to, like, again, it's kind of that accountability piece. Someone spoke to it earlier, like, gosh, I kind of felt like I had to be productive because I had to write it down. So you'll do, I believe, 3 additional time logs.
And it will say that in the S'more. If you just follow the S'more, like the video we show you gives you an overview of it, then we write the overview, and then we list every assignment out.
Does the course end on July 23rd for everyone, regardless of what credit option they're taking?
Yes.
Good question. It does. That is the university kind of structures the windows for courses in the summer, and an expectation is that there's evidence of learning each week. And so it will run that the length of the first summer term, I believe, is how the university refers to it.
But you'll see, like if you're a 2 credit person, your slide deck has less assignments, and in the S'more there's a little, you know, star. If you're doing 2 credit, only do this. So like you have less to do each week if you're taking it for less credit. Does that make sense?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, can you think of anything else, Em?
The only thing I was going to say too is, in this time of distance remote learning, if you think you would benefit from face-to-face, just email us and request a Zoom, and we will make it work. And like if you're one of those, like, I just want to talk to them for 10 minutes, I need help on something, just request a Zoom and we'll set it up.
So just to clarify, the only thing that we need to share with you is that slide deck. That's it.
And then it will just be important when you create a document that's linked in that slide deck, you just need to make sure that we have access to edit, comment, those types of things to everything you link there.
Yep.
Good. Yep.
It's kind of nice. It's like a housing place for everything. And then you then have a nice record of the entire course in one place.
So could I just create like a WHOL4Ed folder and just share that folder with you so everything in there is accessible to you, or do you just want the slide deck shared?
Just the slide deck.
Okay.
And then you just link everything to that. It's sometimes tricky, like if 20 of you share a WHOL4Ed folder, we have 20 folders that say WHOL4Ed, which can be a little, so we would just prefer, when you make your slide deck, put your first name at the beginning, share that with us. It makes it easy to find, easy to organize. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Random, if we know we're going to be busy on July 23rd, do you want to know that now? I mean, I have a wedding that day, so that's for sure actually happening. So I don't know if you're going to send something out, but.
And no, too, we will record the Zoom. So you can just watch it later.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay, well, if you have any other questions, you haven't even had a chance to look at anything yet. So explore a little bit, do those assignments. If anything comes up, let us know. We have some MBA peeps in here, quite a few of you, that we get to see on Saturday too. So if you think of something, let us know then too.
And this is a class that is so hard for us to not see people and be living and breathing this with you for 2 full days to kick it off. So we just wish you well. We are fingers crossed, prayers sent, good wishes that we've communicated well via the s'mores and blackboards. But if you have questions at any time, like Emily said, let us know. We are here to help. Thank you so much for making these 2 hours like optional, like invitation Zoom. Thank you for coming. It's so good to see all of you. But now go have a great day, enjoy the sunshine, and we will be connected online in the near future.
Have a great day, you guys. Thank you.